A few weeks ago, I was in that situation where you're with a friend and you're like, hey man, you wanna play a game?
Yeah, what you want to do?
Well, we started going through our libraries and uncovered this hidden gem, We Were Here Together, which was in a Humble Monthly a few months ago. This is the third game in the series, but it's not connected to the other ones, and this is where we started. Together. Get it? It's a two-player puzzle game where you hop off Discord and talk to each other through a radio in the game.
Okay, well, first things first, these dishes look kind of dirty. Maybe we should clean them over.
Yeah, those dishes look pretty dirty, but also we're like standing 2 feet apart. Why are we using walkie-talkies over?
Social distancing, over.
Only one of you can talk at a time because, you know, it's a radio. You start off chilling in a cabin, but soon you'll be riding elevators, becoming an interior decorator, and yelling at your friend. No, that's all there is. There's only points. There's no, what do you mean the side? I don't know what you're talking about, the side. There's no colors. I got 3 circles that make a triangle that have colors, but I don't know what the a side is. I think this is pretty unique as far as puzzle games go because for a lot of the game, the 2 players will be in different rooms and they'll have to communicate what they're looking at efficiently to each other so you'll both know what's going on to solve the puzzles. I'm gonna try not to spoil very much in this video, but I'm gonna use this one as an example where I was looking at a bunch of books with pictures that had crazy scientific names attached to them, and there was this blackboard that had a bunch of abbreviations on it. My friendo didn't see any of this. He had a bunch of potions with pictures of plants on them and books with abbreviations and scientific names. We had to go back and forth where I described 2 abbreviations that needed to be combined on the blackboard, and then he told me the scientific names from the abbreviations, and then I had to describe some terrible looking plant thing to him so he could get the right potion to combine them. It's a lot of doing things and then the other person does a thing, or one person has to decipher a thing when the other person flips a bunch of stuff in response, but at the same time it never really felt repetitive. Each puzzle had its own mechanics to figure out. Obviously, this type of game will leave you and your friend very confused and trying to explain what you have to the other person, and it ends up turning into this.
If the side of the triangle is just the point that is not on a point, but is between the 2 points.
What?
Okay, let's just draw a triangle now.
We didn't understand this one for about 50 minutes. But that's just because we're dumb. And that's about the longest it took us to figure out any one specific puzzle. They're fairly consistent in difficulty with maybe 1 or 2 standouts. All of course depending on how well you can communicate with your other person. You know, me and my friend were just kind of like, ah. I will say though that sometimes it felt like player 1 was doing all of the things in like an action role, and player 2 was preparing the things in more of a support role. But I don't really think that actually detracts from the experience. If anything, it gives you more of a reason to play through a second time as the other player. Overall, I thought it was a fun, fairly unique experience that I thought I'd share. I know this is a lot shorter than what I usually post, but I wanted to shout out the game without spoiling too much of it. I'm not really even into puzzle games, but the co-opness of it really made it enjoyable for me. It took us about 6.5 hours to beat the game, and it's $13 on Steam. I think that's pretty fair. Definitely more entertainment to dollar value than a movie. Not that those are really happening right now. Oh yeah, and the first game in the series is free. Have you guys played We Were Here Together? What did you think? Comment below, let me know. That's not my catchphrase. Whose is it though? 2 Lainz, out.